Hi everyone, so I'm going to be reviewing the classwork for May 21st. It's a Thursday. This is our last day of proportions, and this one focuses mainly on word problems. There's a YouTube video I want you guys to watch right here. I want you to watch it, take some detailed notes, and then send me those notes. After you do that, you can watch this video that I'm making right now. I'm going to review number 5 and number 6, and I'm going to leave the rest to you. But I think once I review 5 and 6, you'll see what this is. It can be set up pretty easily. So I'm going to do 5 real quick. So, and I really want, earlier I gave you guys more equations, more algebra. I'm going to solve this in that way. I bet you a lot of you guys can probably do this in your head, and that's great. But I want you to try and come up with the actual proportion like what I'm doing right now. So what this says is that Natalie bought 1 bunch of fennel for $2. How many bunches can Stephanie buy if she has $6? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a proportion. We've got 1 bunch for $2. So that's 1 bunch for every $2. So how many bunches can Stephanie buy if she has $6? So $6, and then how many bunches? I'm going to put an X here. X bunches. So basically, our proportion is just 1 over 2 is equal to X over 6. Now, how do we solve that? So let me do this, and I'll do the teal. Okay, so same thing before. We're going to do cross multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side, that diagonal, by this diagonal. So at that point we should have 1 times 6. So 1 times 6 is equal to 2 times x. And 2 times x is just 2x. And you know, 1 times 6 is just 6. So I'm just going to erase that. So we have 6 equals 2x. See, last step, what we want to do is we're trying to get the x by itself. We got to get rid of this 2. It's 2 times x. What's the opposite of multiplication? That'd be division. So it cancels over here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And what's 6 divided by 2? And for that, you should get x is equal to 6 divided by 2, which would just be 3. So basically, Stephanie can buy 3 bunches of fennel. Okay, so not too bad, I think, as far as what I want you guys to focus on is coming up with this proportion, coming up with the correct proportion. If you come up with the correct proportion, the actual math isn't that bad. Okay, so real quick, I'll do number 6. So number 6 says that a triangle is 20 inches tall and 5 inches wide. If it is reduced to a width of 1 inch, then how tall will it be? And again, this is another thing that you guys could probably do in your head, but I just want to show you guys the process. Just in case, we use decimals or it's just a more complicated expression there. So let's see. So a triangle is 20 inches tall and 5 inches wide. So what I'm going to say is it's 20 tall and 5 wide. That'll have to be equal to this triangle that's 1 width of 1, so 1 wide. And these letters I'm putting here are more they're not really variables, they're units. So if you're getting confused, I'm just saying this is the tall section, this is the wide section. And we're trying to find out something that's x tall. And you can write this out, it's just hard for me with my mouse. Wide just so we don't think they're variables. I'm going to write it out, even though it's hard for you guys to read. Okay. So the actual expression we're coming up with, well, the proportion, is just going to be 20 over 5 is equal to x over 1. So this is actually an interesting case. I'm going to do this 2 different ways. So I'm going to copy it down over here as well. I'm going to do the way I've taught you guys first. So let's do it. Okay. So first we got 20 times 1. We're just cross multiplying. It's equal to 5 times x. So then we should just get 20 times 1 is 20. And 5 times x is 5x. So how do we get x by itself here? It's 5 times x. We got to do the opposite of multiplication, which will be division. So I'm going to divide by 5 over here, divide by 5 over here. So this cancels. That cancels. What's 20 divided by 5? Should get x to equal 4. And that'll be your answer over here. But I'm just going to do it the shortcut way over here. 20 divided by 5. What is 20 divided by 5? That's actually 4. And what's x divided by 1? That's just x. So in some ways, you don't actually have to go through this. So I think like a lot of times you do, sometimes you don't. And if you don't, you can kind of do a little bit of a shortcut here. But yeah, so I worked out those first 2 problems. Hope you guys won't find them too bad. I think it's just about coming up with the correct proportion with these. So I want you guys to do 7 through 12.